Welcome back, children, to social studies class. Children, today we are going to pick up a chapter from history, that is the medieval period. Okay, so let's go through it. Now, see, children, history of the world, it can be divided into three broad periods. This you studied in your earlier class also. Okay, ancient, medieval, and modern. In 6th standard, we studied about ancient period. Now, in this standard, that is 7th standard, we are going to focus more on medieval period. Okay. Each of these periods covers many centuries, and the length of a period may differ from one part of the world to another. See, children, a century is a period of 100 years, and here what they are telling that each of these periods, that is ancient, medieval, and modern, they cover many centuries. Okay. Here they have given you an example. See, the medieval period began around 5th century AD in Europe. In Europe, when did it begin? In 5th century AD. But if we compare with India, then in India it began around 8th century AD. Okay. In this book you will study about India in the medieval period. So here in this book, that is in 7th standard, you are going to study mainly about India in the medieval period. The medieval period in India spans a millennium. That means it covers around 1000 years, okay? From 8th to 18th century AD. Now, during this period, that is the medieval period, many developments took place, okay, which distinguished it, which made it different from the previous period. Previous period means the ancient period, okay. So, in this chapter, we will study about the new developments. Major political developments. Now, children, the medieval period in India is divided into two phases. Early medieval period and later medieval period. Okay, early medieval period covers 8th to 13th century and later medieval period covers 13th to 18th century. Now, if we talk about the history of early medieval period, okay, then it mainly talks, or you can say it is mainly centered on power struggles. Okay, now what is the meaning of power struggles? दिस पर्टिकुलर टर्म पावर स्ट्रगल मीन्स सत्ता हासिल करने के लिए आप संघर्ष जो करते हो, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ पावर स्ट्रगल. ओके, सो दीज पावर स्ट्रगल्स वर going on among the regional kingdoms. Okay, regional kingdoms of both North India and South India. Now, first of all, what is the meaning of kingdom? Kingdom means a country or region, or you can say area that is ruled by a king or queen. Okay, and if we talk about this whole term regional kingdom, it means it is a series of city or states that is combined into one powerful kingdom. So basically, history of early medieval period, it talks about the power struggles which were going on among the regional kingdoms, okay, of both North India also and South India. The most prominent among these kingdoms, prominent means important, or you can say famous, were the Rajput kingdoms, okay, in the north and Chola kingdom in the south. Okay. If we talk about the later medieval period, then there were a number of invasions. First of all, what is the meaning of this term invasion? Invasion means the action of entering another country with an army in order to take control of it. Okay, in order to take control of any area when you are entering that particular area. Okay, so invasion was done by whom? By Muslim conquerors. Okay. Now again a new term. First of all, you need to know the meaning of conquer. Okay, the word conquer means to take control of any area and its people. The people who are living over there, by force you are taking control. That is the meaning of the word conquer. Okay, so Later medieval period, there were a number of invasions. By whom? By Muslim conquerors coming from Central Asia. Okay. Now, among the invaders, that means the attackers जो attack करने आए थे, were the Turks, Afghans and the Mughals. Okay. See, in this period, children, rise of powerful Muslim dynasties was seen, okay, such as Khiljis and Tughlaqs and the Mughals. Now, again, a new term comes over here, dynasties. What is the meaning of dynasty? It is a series of rulers, okay, who are belonging to the same family, who are from the same family, okay. Now, under their rules, when they were ruling, Islamic customs, Islamic rivaj jo the, that had an effect on what? Political, economic, social and cultural life in India. Okay. And this whole thing led to the growth of what? Growth of new culture, a unique culture, which was known as Indo-Islamic culture. Okay. Now, towards the end of 15th century, European traders, जो European व्यापारी थे, they began direct overseas trade, okay, with India. Now, who was the first to arrive? Portuguese were the first, okay. They were followed by the English, then came the Dutch and then the French. And then by the mid-17th century, the two main rival trading powers in India were the French and the English, okay. And by the end of mid-18th century, children, the English ousted means it forced out the French, yes, and the English became a leading political force in India. And this was the beginning of modern period in India, okay. Now let us study about importance of geographical knowledge. Now, why it is important for us to have this geographical knowledge, okay, that we will study. See children, if we will know the geography of a region properly, then that thing will help us to understand the history of that area, okay. If we wish to study about history of any region in a better way, then we need to know about its geography. Now, how can you get geographical knowledge about a particular region? The best tool for that is maps, okay. In this, maps are of great help. So by studying a map, we will come to know about the geographical features of a region, okay, and we will come to know about the location of that region with respect to other regions, okay. Now that information can be very much useful. How? See children, such information will explain you about why a particular region prospered. Prospered means developed. Okay. It will also tell you about why a particular region was frequently invaded. Why again and again a particular region was attacked. Okay. Or it remained isolated, it remained separate and so on. Okay. So now I think you must have understood the importance of geographical knowledge. Cartography and medieval India. Children, first of all, what is the meaning of this term cartography? Cartography means art of making map, okay? And the person who makes the map is known as cartographer. So here what they are telling, that the skill of cartography, that is the skill of making map, it was practically unknown in ancient India. Okay, in ancient period, people didn't know this particular skill. Okay, they did not have any knowledge regarding this. If we talk about ancient India, then people were not aware about this skill of cartography. Okay, they had no practical knowledge about this. And if we talk about medieval period, because of the growth of trade worldwide and expansion of empires, all these things created need for accurate maps, okay, correct maps, totally accurate. So basically the Arabs and the Europeans, okay, who undertook long journeys over land and sea, they developed cartography, they introduced India to cartography, okay. Now, children, do go through the map shown in figure 1.1. Okay, it is a map which was made in 12th century by Al-Idrisi. Okay, a cartographer from Morocco, and he has drawn in such a way that the south is shown at the top. So go through it. Okay. And here they are also telling that by the end of medieval period, cartography, that is the skill of making maps, that became more accurate, okay. And most of the maps of our country belonging to this period, that is medieval period, were drawn by sailors, okay. So they were more familiar with coastal regions. So in these maps, you will see the coastal areas in more detail, okay, than the interior regions. Place names. Now children, if we talk about the medieval maps and the writings of that time, then they would provide us valuable information about the geographical features and the names of places of the medieval times, okay. But it might happen that the place names which are mentioned in these documents, they might have changed with time, okay. So it is the work of a historian, okay, to study, to find out the present names of the places. Here what they are telling, see that among the medieval scholars who visited India were Al-Biruni, okay, he was a famous Central Asian scholar, and Ibn Battuta, okay, a scholar from Tangier, North Africa, okay. Their writings give us valuable geographical information on medieval India. Whatever they wrote, that gives us a lot of valuable information, geographical information on medieval period, okay. Al-Biruni had mastered Sanskrit, okay, and he translated some Sanskrit texts into Arabic. He even wrote a book. That book was known as Kitab al-Hind on India, okay. Then Ibn Battuta came to India in the 14th century, okay. During which time period he came to India? 14th century. His work, Rihla, describes his travels in India. He also wrote a book, Rihla, okay, and in that book he has described his travels in India. Now talking about keeping records, children, in the medieval kingdoms in India, there were elaborate systems of administration. That means the system of administration was very well planned, it was executed with care, in detailing everything was done, okay. Also large scale trade was going on, okay, and many types of crafts and religious and cultural activities were going on. So all these things required the keeping of records, okay. Now for keeping the records, paper came into wide use, okay, during the medieval period as a writing material. And the paper documents which we have got of that period, they are at present preserved, okay, they are kept safe, kept properly, usko संभाल के रखा है in archives. Now what is the meaning of archives? Let us see. In the bracket C it is given, an archive is a collection of what? Collection of historical documents, okay, documents related with past history and records of a government, family or any other organization. What all things are included in medieval documents and inscriptions? See, they include records of land revenue, land grants, works on religious literature. Religious literature means writings on religious themes, okay, like Vedas are there, okay, and it also includes secular works. Secular literature means the literature which is not connected with religion, okay, like writings on travel, history, science. So all these things were included in medieval documents and inscriptions. Now they are telling that most of the historical works are prahastis or eulogies. Now what is the meaning of this term, children? Eulogy, it is a speech, or you can say it is a piece of writing that says good things about somebody or someone. Okay, that means किसी की प्रशंसा करना. Okay, so here also see it is written eulogies, which are writings praising somebody. When you are praising someone, किसी की आप तारीफ करते हो, okay, usually a ruler. So I hope this term is clear in your mind. Now one exception is Kalhana's Raj Tarangini. It is a history of Kashmir written in Sanskrit by Kalhana, and Kalhana was considered as a true historian. Okay, why and why this exception word is used? See, the word prahasti, as I discussed in Sanskrit term, means in praise for. You are praising someone, right? So here the main difference between the writings of Kalhana and prahastis is that Brahmanas wrote the prahastis in praise of rulers, whereas the writings of Kalhana include both the aspects of rulers. Okay, such as he often wrote sarcastic things about the kings, okay, and their policies. So he was considered as a true historian. So that's all for today. Next part of this chapter we'll be doing in the next lecture. Okay, end of session. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you in the next lecture.